Hello everyone and welcome back to the next video on strings. In this video I will start my discussion with string indexing. So what is string indexing? Actually as I said in the previous video that strings are like a thread connecting all the characters together, that is a sequence. Okay, so over here I have put together a simple word, that is Python programming, and I have put them in separate columns as you can see. So whenever we put them separately, this is actually called indexing, and each character is located in different slots or in different boxes. We can think of that of them as boxes tied together, and each box only having one character in it. So therefore this particular thing over here, we have these many boxes for these many characters. Now how do the index values start? So for each and every character in a given string there is an index value. It always starts with 0. Always, it is always going to start from 0, and from the left hand side we also have right hand side. We'll discuss that quickly. So over here the index value of p is 0, index value of y is 1, t 2, and henceforth it is going to continue. So as you can see, at 6th position, starting from 0, at 6th position we have space 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So as you can see, this is the total value from 0 to 17. So actually from over here we can count the total number of characters, or we call it as length of a string. So as you can see, it starts from 0 to 17. That means there are in total 18 characters, or we can also say the length of the string, length of the given string is 18. So this is how we do all the counting. We have to remember one thing, that it always starts from 0. It is always going to start from 0, and in this way we can do the indexing. Now what if we do it from the right side? Actually this indexing method is called positive indexing. Why? Because all the numbers or all the values are in positive values, so that's why we call it positive indexing. Now when we do it from the right hand side, or from this particular point, we start from G, it is called negative indexing. Let's check it out. So over here we have -1, then over here we have -2, we have -3, -4, -5, -6, -7, -8, -9, -10, -11, -12, -13, -14, -15, -16, -17, and in the end -18. So in this way we can actually put these values together, and we can simply give them these index values. If we can start calculating from the right hand side, we call it negative indexing. From the left hand side we call it positive indexing. So using these particular values, we can directly find out which character is there in that place. Directly we can use the index values directly to check out the values that are there at that particular position in a given string. So let's check it out from over here. Now let's create one more file over here. I'll name the file as index_str.py. okay, so over here we are going to create a program, simple program, this same program, and we are going to find out the characters at certain positions. Okay, and we'll do it manually. Let's check it. So let's take str1 as a variable. Within that I'm going to write Python programming. So if I want to print the particular character at fourth index position, when I say fourth index position, it means actually the fifth position in the string, as I showed to you, that starts from 0. So whenever I am saying the fourth index position, it means 1 2 3 4 5. Actually if we start from 1, that it will be the fifth position. So remember the terms while working with this. If I say the index position means the index value at a given position, and when I say the only the character length, that is 5, that means this position also. 5 means this position. Whenever you are being asked to find the position, it will be specifically given how and which one. So for index values we use the word index. Okay, so now moving on over here, so let's find out how this is being done. So str1, we type in str1, after that use third brackets or also the square brackets and give the index value. So I wanted index value 4, so I'll give the index value 4. So let's check what is it going to print. So as you can see, it is printing O, and in this particular section we know this O is there in fourth index position. So this is how we can print using positive index. So what if I want to print using negative index values? So let's try that one also. I'll just put it over here only. So over here let's check out the term -4 index value. -4 index value. So what is there in -4? It will show it over here directly. So it is showing M is there in the -4 index value, and let's check it out from this table. Yes, we have -4 in -4 index position, we have M over there. So this is how we can simply print the particular character, at a given position. We can use either positive indexing or we can use negative indexing. This is going to help us to understand and how strings are stored in our system. This is the main thing. This is how it is stored. So while programming with strings, remember that it always starts with a positive index value 0. With 0 it starts. Whenever we are using positive index value, or it always starts with 0. For negative index value it starts with -1. So always remember this nicely. Next we are going to discuss traversing a string. So what does traversing mean? It means actually moving from one point to the other. Now in case of a string sequence, it means accessing each character of a string one by one after the other, or we can skip also if while required. So we can use it by using either positive index value or by using negative index value. So therefore let's check it out by doing a simple program at how we can traverse a string. So whenever we are traversing a string, and string being a sequence, there is nothing better than using a for loop. So whatever string currently we have over here, we are going to use this particular string sequence over here to print it. So to do that, let's type for I in str1. What am I going to do? I am going to print I. That's it. This is how we simply traverse through each and every character in the given string. So this particular str1 has it contains this Python programming string, this string over here. So whenever I say I, as I starts from 0, by default it starts from 0, so whatever will be there in the 0th index position, that means this capital P, it will be printed over here. So let's check it out how this program runs. So as you can see, this is the output that we get. So we get each and every character in different lines. So now if I want to see that in the same line, I want to see these particular characters in the same line, as I said that the print statement by default has a new line as the ending. So if I want it separated but in a same line, I just need to mention the end. So I'll mention the end within single inverted comma. So this is how it will be shown to us then. Let's run it. So as you can see, it shows us like this. It shows us like this when we give the end, and as I have not given any space in between these characters over here, it is showing me as it is. It is showing me as it is. So this is what we can say. This is called traversing. For I equal to for I, it's starting from 0. 0th index value means P. It is showing us P, capital P. And as for loops, it automatically increments by 1 until and unless we mention the starting range and the ending range, and how it is going to skip through. We are by default it increases or increments by 1. So this is how we can traverse through a string, and this is what we call is traversing this particular string. Now definitely at this point we are using for loop. We are using for loop to do this. Now the question arises that why not use while loop? Why not use while loop? Now it is not that while loop cannot be used. I will show it to you right now that while loop definitely can be used, but it has a different way of using. While loop is while programming, whenever we are working with sequences, for loop is always the best. Definitely we can use while loop because this is programming and all the loops can be used in different ways. So let's check it out. What if I use a while loop to do this? So how we are going to do the same task by using while loop? So I'll erase this from over here and start using a while loop. So before we begin, as I was giving for I, with for loop it does not require any kind of declaration, but while using while loop we need to have a certain value of I. It is going to start from 0, so we are going to write I is equals to 0. Now we are going to use a particular function. Using that particular function we have to find out the length of the string. When using a for loop, for as I was writing for I in str1, automatically this is done by Python itself. It automatically calculates the length of the string. We do not need to calculate the length of the string, but for while loop we have to calculate the length of the string. So it is going to start from 0 and end at 17, and it is going to start from 0 and end at 17. So we have to understand, we have to write this. So while I less than len, what we are going to do, str1. So whatever this is, whatever the length, we will get the length 18, but as it is starting from 0 it will stop at 17. Hence we are using strictly less than, not less than equal to. If it started from 1, if it had started from 1, then we could have used it as less than equal to. But in cases of string sequences, as I said earlier, it always starts from 0, so we are using strictly less than sign from over here. So now while I less than 1, so what I am going to do, I am going to print the value of of str at position I. I'm going to print the particular indexes position in those places, and as we know, automatically it will be printed in other lines. So this is how also I can traverse through strings. Now at this point, as we all know, while loop does not have an automatic increment system. To increment the loop control variable, currently that is I, which is controlling the loop, we have to write I plus equals to 1. So it is going to increment by 1, otherwise it is only going to print the i's value, that is 0. It is going to continuously going to print 0 18 times. So sorry, not 0, capital P 18 times. So therefore this is how we have to increment also, because for loop takes care of everything for us, whereas in while loop we have to do some things manually. Now let us run the program and check what is the output of this. So as you can see, it is showing us the same output over here, but from the differences, as you can see that we have to write little bit more code for strings or for sequences while using a while loop. So it is better, or as I say, it is preferred by programmers to use for loops for sequences. Let us now write a program using which we will calculate or count the number of p. We have 2 p's over here, but how do we count the number of p's in this particular text over here? Of course you can definitely use user input, but for convenience currently, so I am going to write it just by entering directly in the program. Definitely that this program can be done by using user input. So over here we have string 1 called Python programming, within which we are writing. Now I will take a character. Okay, I will take a character, and what character do I want to search? I want to search, or I want to count this particular character p. I want to count this particular character p, and as you can see I have written capital P. So now let's move on. So we'll keep a variable called count, and we'll initialize it with 0 because it's going to start counting. So let's start or write this program. So we'll write for I in str1. What we are going to do, we are going to check that if the particular ith value or value at ith position is equals to our character or not. If it is equals to the character that we have given or not, that means it is going to check whether the given character is equal to the character in the text or not. Then what we are going to do, we are just going to increase the value of count with 1. Count plus equals to 1, and it simply stands for count equals to count plus 1. Okay, so now for the purpose of this particular program, print the total number of p's in the text, okay, comma count. So this is how we can work with the particular program. So this is going to count the number of p's. That means actually it is going to show us the output 2, because capital P, there are 2 capital P's over here. Okay, so let's check out the particular output. So as you can see, the total number of p's in the text, it is showing me 2. Definitely you can use the input function to take an input from the user. So instead of str1 equal to Python programming, you can type in over here input. And remember one thing, as we already know in Python that input function always takes input as a string. So in the input, let us write down enter text. Okay, enter text, and the user will be able to enter this text as usual. So instead of this particular character, I can write again over here input enter the character to search for. I can do this. So this is going to be easier one, and enter the character to search for. So the user will also enter the character that is to search for, and we will see how it works. Okay, so now let us also run this particular program. So as you can see, it is asking to enter text. So I'll write this is Python programming and I am loving it. So I want to search for the character small I, how many times it has come across in this particular sentence. So as soon as I do, it gives me the total sorry, I had not formatted the particular output, so it's showing P's. So just leave it as it is. We can definitely modify that also in the program. So the total number of if I want the i's over here, so how to do that? We'll just put it as such, the total number of this, comma, and we'll write character. So total number of character, then I'm going to give a comma again. Within double inverted comma, we are going to write in the text. In the text, and this is going to show that the total number of character in this particular text is the value count over here. So using this we can do this, and let's run the program once again. So let us write it once again. This is Python programming and I am loving it, and press enter. So that enter the character to search for. I'll give small I and press enter. So the total number of I in the text 5. So this is also the program can be done. So in this video it will be this much only. Now in the next video I am going to discuss some special string operations. Thank you.